Gentleman from New York, Mr. Engel is recognized.
Well, thank you very much, Chairman, Chairman Lucas and Chairwoman Stabenow, Ranking Member Peterson and Ranking Member Cochran for calling this conference meeting. I also would like to thank Leader Pelosi for naming me as a conferee. I know members and their staffs have worked very hard on these bills, and I feel privileged to be a part of this process. As all of you know, the Foreign Affairs Committee has jurisdiction over Title III of the bills before us, which includes international food aid and export promotion measures. Now, as the ranking member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, I'm frequently reminded that our system for delivering food aid abroad is an outdated vestige of the 1950s, and let me say that Chairman Royce agrees with me. It takes far too long to get food aid to starving people, wastes tens of millions of taxpayer dollars, and often harms agricultural markets in the countries we're trying to help. In these times of budget belt-tightening, we need to find a better, more efficient way to distribute aid. The provisions in Title III of the Senate bill are modest, common-sense reforms that will help the U.S. save more lives with our overseas food assistance while ending inefficient practices that waste U.S. taxpayer dollars. While I support all of the food aid reforms included in the Senate bill, I'm particularly supportive of Section 3008, which would increase flexibility in choosing between cash-based resources or commodities, thereby reducing the reliance on the wasteful practice of monetization. Specifically, this provision would allow our food aid programs to include up to 20% cash funding, which would allow the U.S. to use the most appropriate tools to respond to emergencies, including local and regional procurement, cash transfers, vouchers, and agricultural commodities. I would note that the 20% cash flexibility provision in the Senate bill is narrower than the 45% language included in the amendment Chairman Royce and I to the House Farm Bill on this subject, which received unprecedented support from our colleagues and almost a majority. As we face food insecurity crises in Syria, Somalia, the Sahel, and the DRC, USAID is charged with the unenviable task of deciding who won't get the food aid they need because they have maxed out their ability to purchase food locally. The bottom line is that these artificial restrictions on our ability to respond to humanitarian emergencies must be reformed to make our programs more flexible and efficient. I urge my colleagues to adopt the Senate reforms on Title III. I thank the chairs and my colleagues, Representative Ed Royce and Tom Marino, for their leadership on international food aid in the Foreign Affairs Committee, and I yield back.